Welcome back to a brand new video. I don't even know how to begin this video at all, to be honest. This is just something that I want to talk about because I know this is going to kill the gaming industry, and it's not going to do any damage short term, like 1 to 2 years from now, but this will definitely do damage long term. The entire gaming industry as we know it was built from the ground up from the core audience of certain video games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, other popular games like Mortal Kombat, Grand Theft Auto, and there's this trend going on in the gaming industry that's basically punishing the core audience to cater to new players. Now, before you immediately click off this video because you know what I'm talking about, have it be known that this is not some random rant about skill-based matchmaking. This isn't some mindless rant about it. This isn't just going to be me complaining about it. This is going to be my opinion of what will happen to the gaming industry in the long run because of this trend. This trend of skill-based matchmaking, it's already sort of hurting the industry a little bit when it comes to the health and sustainability of the communities of these games. Every community of any video game out there at this very moment is comprised of mostly dedicated players who would not benefit from skill-based matchmaking, right? And there's already people leaving gaming altogether left and right because of this trend. I've seen plenty of posts, plenty of videos, and plenty of people saying that this trend is making them contemplate either switch to single player games or quit gaming in general. And to be honest, I've been on the same exact boat because this is something that will really ruin the experience for everybody who's not a child or a boomer. Skill-based matchmaking, by definition, is something that's supposed to protect noobs and kind of keep better players at bay with their own skill sets and their own lobbies, and they keep noobs away from the pro players and all the good players and stuff, and all the other players are in the middle. And this is really done in a attempt to retain every player base they can. What these companies don't realize is that they're implementing this system extremely terribly, and this, take Call of Duty Modern Warfare for example, and in the future take Black Ops Cold War for another example. Basically, the skill-based matchmaking systems aren't really designed to put you in people of your similar skill level. It's literally designed to manipulate you if you are a bad player into buying microtransactions, and it's the only reason why it exists. Skill-based matchmaking, in theory, actually makes sense, but in practice, companies are creating patents left, right, and center to basically use skill-based matchmaking as a form of mental manipulation amongst the consumers. Most of these consumers being mid to low tier players, and the high tier players aren't really having it because they could see right through this bullshit. A lot of low skill players and mid skill players will often not really understand fully how skill-based matchmaking works, and they'll often say things like stop complaining or just get good at the game, stop crying about skill-based matchmaking. But what they're not understanding is that the people that are complaining about skill-based matchmaking aren't just complaining about their experience, they're complaining about how it's negatively affecting the game as a whole. The long-term health of these video games that are implementing skill-based matchmaking are at jeopardy because these companies just want to make money in the short term off of noobs who benefit off of skill-based matchmaking, with no real knowledge of how it'll affect the game in the long run. But back to my point that I made earlier in the video where I was mentioning how skill-based matchmaking was designed to psychologically manipulate noobs into, I guess, buying microtransactions. Well, a while ago, if you follow the gaming revolution on Twitter, at least I think that's who tweeted about this, someone actually found a patent for skill-based matchmaking, I believe, from Activision, that basically showed that if you bought microtransactions, your lobbies would get easier, so you'd basically be washed with dopamine, and your brain would associate buying microtransactions with having easier lobbies and doing better in the game. And personally, I remember hearing a lot about this when the game first came out from Prestige's Key, which later deleted his tweet and said it was incorrect, where Prestige's Key bought a bunch of microtransactions and then he noticed that he got put in bot lobbies for like 10 games straight or some crazy shit. But later, I'm sure Activision reached out to him and forced him to delete the tweet or the video that he put up and say that it was false, that it was just a coincidence or something. But now looking at the patents, I really don't think it's a coincidence anymore. I think skill-based matchmaking was entirely implemented just to trick people into thinking that buying microtransactions makes them better at the game, when in reality, it has no correlation at all. And I'm sure Call of Duty isn't the only game really doing this right now. Without any evidence, I could probably say that Fortnite is probably doing something similar, because I noticed that a lot of people get strangely addicted to Fortnite, especially buying microtransactions for some reason. A lot of people in the community are literally addicted to constantly fucking searching the shop page and shit to buy the skins, the pickaxes, the gliders. And I can never really understand how somebody could get hooked to paying for something that doesn't do anything to your actual game. But looking at Fortnite and then looking at Modern Warfare, I'm seeing the same thing happen, where both games have skill-based matchmaking that's extremely thick, and they have armies of players that are just addicted to buying the skins, the cosmetics, the weapon variants, just you name it. And it's definitely something to do with the skill-based matchmaking system. If you think about it, it's incredibly clever to be able to do this to someone subconsciously as a game developer or a game publisher, and basically make it to where if someone buys microtransactions, they associate buying the microtransactions with getting better at the game, so they keep on buying microtransactions. But on to my original point of recording this video, I think in the long run, like maybe 5 to 10 years from now, the entire structure of the gaming industry will collapse before its very feet, because a lot of the dedicated players that continuously come back to their franchises that they are loyal to and enjoy and love playing will no longer be there, and it'll just be filled with super casuals that will just gladly hop on the next trend as soon as something else new and shiny comes out. What I find hilarious is that these game developers are pushing out their fucking dedicated players to cater to people that don't give a fuck about their series and would literally hop on the next fucking Fortnite game that comes out, without realizing that once all the dedicated players are gone, you know, the players that are the reason why the casuals even know about the game in the first place, there's not going to be a steady player base to sell their game to in the long run. This is something that I don't see anyone else talking about, but this is something that will in fact happen if game development studios and game publishers continue on with this trend of skill-based matchmaking. What they don't realize is that short-term money always equals long-term failure, and skill-based matchmaking will single-handedly be the death of multiplayer gaming as we know it in the future. A lot of people are already switching off to single-player games or video gaming in general because of this, and it'll only get worse as time goes on. If you don't believe me, check this video out back in 5 to 10 years from now and tell me exactly in the comment section how it went, because I guarantee if they continue with this fucking nonsense, gaming will no longer be as mainstream as it is nowadays, and it will die just like the movie industry did. Anyways, that'll do it for today's video. Definitely make sure to subscribe and turn on my post notifications, because I always upload Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty content on this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.